Now we'll move on to this week of games. We have a Thursday night competition as WKU travels to play North Texas. Brandon Dowdy, who has 3 highly productive receivers with 30-plus catches on the season, will play to remain undefeated in conference play.
And they're going up against a defense that's really struggled this year. You know, John Sculdani, defensive coordinator, retired at the end of last season. Been a big difference this year. You look at what North Texas, what they do defensively. They're last in scoring defense, last in total defense. They give up 290 yards against the pass this year. And Mike Canales, the interim head coach, he's got a very difficult job. But if you're going to win, you've got to get something going defensively. I mean, Brandon Dowdy has not had a bad game yet this year. So I would have to think right now that if you're North Texas, you've got to somehow put pressure on him, have him make mistakes. It's going to be an emotional game for North Texas, but you still have to execute, bottom line.
We are where we are right now, and we're looking forward to our game this Thursday night and our kids responding to the adversity we've been faced with. And I know our kids will respond and they'll battle, and we'll move forward. And we didn't know how important it is to respect and honor Coach McCarney. Our staff is really tight bounded right now through this adversity. And we've got a veteran staff that have, some of us have been through this situation before. It's unfortunate. It's a great profession, and it can be a crappy business at times. But it is something that we will shoulder and that we'll put on our backs, and we'll put our best foot forward as professionals, as we all are, and try to move this program forward in a manner that North Texas, the community, and the school will be proud of.
Then Marshall will carry their 4-game win streak with them all the way down to Florida as they take on FAU. The defensive performance could play a key role in the final score as both teams have 2 of the league's top defenses.
Well, they're playing in Boca. They won a bowl game there, Marshall did last season, so they're going to have a familiar surrounding. But you look at Marshall's pass defense, they lead the Conference USA in that category, also in scoring defense. And these 2 teams, they're tied for the fewest touchdown passes allowed. In Florida Atlantic, they've had some bad mistakes this year. They've lost some tough games, especially this past week. Can they get over that and take on a very good Marshall team? They're going to have to come out on fire.
You know, I've said many times when you go on the road to play a game, you got to take your leadership and your toughness with you. So that's going to be critical again this week. We're going down there to play an FAU team that's got the same quarterback that took them to become bowl eligible 3 years ago. He's given us fits every time we played him. He looks like an offensive guard playing quarterback, but he can make all the throws, he can run. You guys have seen him as much as I have, so you know he creates problems for you. And you know, I said many times when I talked about Southern Miss a week ago, you know, every time you're located in a fertile recruiting ground like Southern Miss is, you're going to have good players, and FAU's even better. I mean, there's more players than a 2-hour radius of that campus than there is any school in our league. And you saw their facilities at the Boca Bowl. You've seen them down there before. They got tremendous facilities. They got a great staff that work at recruiting, so they got good players or great players at every position.
Middle Tennessee hosts FIU for an important East Division battle. The Panthers are coming off one of their best offensive performances in school history, while the Blue Raiders have the league's most productive receiving duo.
I think if you're Middle Tennessee right now, you're looking at your schedule, you're going, we have to win this football game if we want to go to a bowl. And of course, you're playing a very good team in FIU, coming off 2 losses. They have a big win, as you mentioned, great offensive performance last week. And you look at the middle receivers that are so good, they've got to have big games. Richie James, Ed Batiste, if they can get something going offensively, they have a chance to win this football game. But both teams, a lot at stake coming into this week.
You know, offensively, the same thing. You know, they got good receivers, good backs, quarterbacks having a nice year. I think probably the most improved part of their team offensively from what I've seen just on film is their offensive line is really good. Very, very athletic up there. They move around, they protect the quarterback well. So it's a good football team. They're sound in the kicking game. We got to continue to work, continue to get better. Looking forward to it.
And actually, I'm excited to join you in Hattiesburg for
Yes.
Southern Miss to return to home after being on the road last week, and they'll host UTSA for their homecoming game.
Well, I think if you're Southern Miss right now, you just got to cut down your mistakes. You've got a potent offense. Look what they did last week against Marshall, but you can't have blocked field goals. You can't have unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. And for UTSA, I watched them on last Saturday night. They play extremely hard on defense. They've got a really good defense. They're playing well right now. Can they generate some offense? Who's going to be quarterback? Is it going to be Blake Bogenschutz, or is it going to be Dalton Sturm? We're not sure, but right now that could be an interesting game because I like what UTSA has done so far.
Well, Southern Miss is pretty good. They score a lot of points. They're averaging about 500 yards a game. I think about 30 or 40 points a game. I can't remember now, but a lot. And playing in Hattiesburg, and they're a good football team. We'll have a tough game. They're 3-3, and again, it's a huge game for us, and probably a huge game for them also.
And two of the newest programs in the FBS meet for the first time when Charlotte plays Old Dominion. Both teams are coming off their bye week, and both are armed with talented running backs.
And yeah, you talk about the running backs. ODU's got Ray Lowry, outstanding running back. This guy can throw over 100 yards every time he touches the football. Charlotte's Khalif Phillips. Who's going to be able to stop the other one? That's going to be the big key in that game.
You know, really kind of all starts with Ray Lowry for them. Their running back, he's leading our conference in rushing, and he's a really, really good player. They've done, like I said, they've done a good job. I think, you know, just looking at their program over the years and us starting after them, I think Coach Wilder's done as good a job as anybody balancing his roster. We learned a lot from him just, you know, looking at how he handled his roster, and I think he did a really nice job. And so we're excited about going down there. It's a good atmosphere. I know they've drawn well over the years, and so we're excited about the opportunity to get back on.
Now here's a recap of all the games that we have coming this week. It's actually a good thing to mention that two of our teams with wins will become bowl eligible this weekend, so that could happen.
It's a huge weekend. We talked about at the top of the show is must-win situations for a number of teams. I'll tell you the game I'm going to keep an eye on, Louisiana Tech and Mississippi State. Louisiana Tech is getting healthy right now. They're starting to feel good about themselves. They had the close game this past week against UTSA, and coaches like having those close games. They want to see how their team's going to react. They got to make that 5-hour bus ride down to play Mississippi State. Winnable game for Louisiana Tech. You got to keep Jeff Driscoll upright in this game, and you got to get Kenneth Dixon healthy. He didn't play last week. If Dixon plays, Driscoll has time to throw the football. They may pull off the upset.
This week, there are two chances to be selected as a CUSA tailgate champion. I'll be in Hattiesburg for Southern Miss's homecoming, while Aaron will be in Boca at FAU. Make sure you tweet at us at Maddie_CUSA and at AaronCUSA using the hashtag CUSA tailgate and tell us why we should visit your tailgate. Then be sure to tune in to future editions of the CUSA Showcase to see the tailgate champions from these schools.